Being born into royalty does not mean inheriting a crown on day one, but it does mean growing up inside a world that most people will only ever see through documentaries, history books, and paparazzi photographs. Princess Charlotte of Cambridge, granddaughter of the King of the United Kingdom, is living proof that royal life begins long before official duties do. From the moment she arrived, Princess Charlotte's life was never going to be ordinary. Her days unfold across palaces, private estates, elite schools, and global headlines. Yet behind the grandeur is a carefully structured upbringing designed to balance privilege with responsibility. And yes, even as a child, she has already managed to influence global fashion trends. Not bad for someone who still needs help tying her shoes. A birth watched by the world. Princess Charlotte Elizabeth Diana was born in May 2015 at the Lindo Wing of St. Mary's Hospital in London, a location famous for welcoming royal babies for generations. The announcement of her birth was a global media event, with crowds gathering not for a political decision or royal decree, but simply to witness history quietly adding a new chapter. As the daughter of Prince William and Catherine, Charlotte entered a lineage shaped by centuries of monarchy. Her great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, reigned for over 7 decades, overseeing one of the most transformative eras in British history. That heritage alone places Charlotte inside a legacy few individuals will ever experience. Palaces, estates, and a childhood split between worlds. Princess Charlotte's childhood is divided between historic grandeur and intentional privacy. Her family residence at Kensington Palace places her at the center of royal life, surrounded by architecture that has housed monarchs since the 17th century. These walls have seen coronations, crises, celebrations, and now toy boxes. When the cameras disappear, the family retreats to Anmer Hall in Norfolk, a private country home nestled within the Sandringham estate. Here, Charlotte experiences something resembling normal childhood freedom, open fields, quiet routines, and space to simply be a child, albeit one with palace security nearby. Summers often extend north to Balmoral Castle, a royal favorite. Its rugged landscapes offer exploration far removed from London's formality. Think muddy boots instead of polished shoes, royal style, countryside edition. Wealth beyond numbers. The wealth surrounding Princess Charlotte is difficult to measure using conventional figures. The British royal family's assets are not simply financial. They are historical, cultural, and symbolic. From castles and estates to priceless artwork and ceremonial regalia, the value lies as much in legacy as it does in currency. The crown jewels, featuring items like the imperial state crown and the sovereign's orb, are not personal possessions, but Charlotte is connected to them through tradition and continuity. The same applies to the vast art collections displayed across royal residences, which include works gathered over centuries. For Charlotte, these are not museum pieces, they're part of the scenery. Transportation reflects similar standards. The royal fleet includes state Bentleys, Rolls-Royces, and Range Rovers, along with private aircraft and the royal train. Even routine travel occurs at a level of comfort most people associate with once-in-a-lifetime experiences. How a child became a fashion force. One of the most fascinating aspects of Princess Charlotte's public presence is her impact on fashion, specifically children's fashion. This influence, often called the Charlotte effect, refers to the rapid sell out of clothing items she is photographed wearing. Whether it's a simple cardigan, a classic dress, or a hand-knitted accessory, brands routinely experience a surge in global demand within hours. Small businesses have found themselves overwhelmed by orders after a single royal appearance. In retail terms, that's not influence, it's economic acceleration. What makes this phenomenon especially interesting is its accessibility. Charlotte's wardrobe blends high-end labels with affordable high-street brands, subtly bridging the gap between royalty and everyday families. Parents aren't just buying clothes, They're buying into a story, a moment, and a touch of fairy tale realism. A new era in royal history. Princess Charlotte holds a genuinely historic place inside the modern monarchy. Because of reforms linked to the Perth Agreement, the rules of succession shifted so that birth order matters more than gender, meaning Charlotte kept her position ahead of her younger brother. That might sound like a technical detail, but in royal terms, it's a quiet revolution. For centuries, a younger male sibling would automatically jump ahead. Charlotte represents a monarchy trying to keep its traditions intact while updating the parts that feel out of step with modern society. What's fascinating is that Charlotte doesn't need to do anything to symbolize this change. Her existence inside the line of succession is already a message. The institution is evolving, slowly but intentionally. And that evolution matters, not just for the public image of the monarchy, but for how future generations will understand duty, fairness, and the meaning of royal legacy. Education fit for a future role. Charlotte's education is designed with two goals running side by side, giving her a normal childhood experience as much as possible, while quietly preparing her for a life where she will always be watched. Her early years at Wilcox Nursery School in Kensington focused on social development, structured play, and confidence building. Because for royal children, even playtime is part of learning how to carry themselves in public. Later, her move to Lambrook School in Berkshire signaled a step into a more formal, elite environment with a strong academic reputation and an emphasis on character, discipline, and well-rounded growth. But education for a royal child doesn't stop at reading, writing, and maths. The broader training includes language learning, music, sports, cultural knowledge, and social awareness. Activities like ballet and horseback riding aren't just hobbies. They build posture, coordination, patience, and composure. Team sports such as swimming, tennis, or hockey build stamina and confidence, but also teach cooperation and leadership. And then there's the part most children don't practice: public speaking, calm behavior under attention, and understanding history and constitutional tradition. The goal is not to create a perfect princess, it's to create a capable, balanced person who can handle pressure without losing her personality. Family dynamics behind the formality. Royal families may look like statues in public, perfect posture, controlled expressions, small waves, but behind that formality, they are still a family raising children. Charlotte's relationship with her brothers gives the public rare glimpses of warmth and normal sibling energy, playful moments, quick reactions, and that classic middle child confidence that says, "Yes, I belong here." Prince George is often seen as more reserved and serious, which makes sense given his role in the attention placed on him as a future king. Prince Louis, on the other hand, has become known for his lively expressions and high-energy personality. Basically the human version of "I'm bored and I have opinions." Charlotte often appears as the steady center between them, composed but playful, confident but not loud, and surprisingly comfortable in front of cameras for someone who didn't choose this life. Their family moments suggest the dynamic is built less on hierarchy and more on closeness, like a modern sibling trio that happens to live near palaces. Duty, not just privilege. One of the biggest misconceptions about royal life is that it's all luxury with no weight. In reality, privilege comes attached to expectation, public visibility, behavioral standards, and eventually, responsibility. As Charlotte grows older, her role will likely expand gradually into public service, supporting charities, attending events, and representing the monarchy in settings meant to strengthen national unity and international relationships. These duties are usually introduced carefully. First come small appearances, controlled environments, and gentle exposure to public attention then, over years, larger engagements and cause-based responsibilities. The modern monarchy relies heavily on relevance, and relevance is earned through service and public trust. Charlotte's generation will likely face an even tougher balancing act, staying traditional enough to preserve the institution's identity while being modern enough to connect with a public that expects authenticity, empathy, and transparency. That's why her future matters, because she will help shape how royalty feels to people in a world that moves faster than palace traditions. A childhood watched, a future unwritten. Princess Charlotte's life is undeniably luxurious, but it is also carefully managed. Behind the fashion headlines and palace walls is a child being prepared for visibility, responsibility, and scrutiny few will ever face. Her story is not about excess for its own sake. It is about legacy, evolution, and the quiet shaping of a future royal figure growing up in a world far different from the one her ancestors ruled. And if she continues influencing global fashion, modernizing royal traditions, and charming the public, well, that may just be the most effortless royal duty of all. As Princess Charlotte grows, her story will continue to unfold, shaped by tradition, responsibility, and a world that's watching every step. What kind of royal figure will she become in a modern age that demands both relevance and restraint? If you enjoyed this deep dive into royal life, like and subscribe for more fascinating videos from inside the world of power, legacy, and hidden wealth.